The mid-engine layout is by far the most precise, the best layout that you can get when it comes to any automobile. And to prove my point, we have a 2019 Porsche 718 Boxster GTS, talk about a mouthful, to show you guys why this is one of the best layouts you can buy. My name is Evo, and you're watching Gaudin X. Now, I think for us to really dive into why this layout is the best, we kind of have to have a little history lesson. Like, let's go back to 8th grade history. The first ever mid-engine car, or at least the one that's credited as creating the mid-engine layout, is by a small French company which actually doesn't exist anymore, named Matra. It's the Matra de Jet. It was introduced in 1962, and it used a 1000cc motor that was stuffed into a little, essentially sport compact car that really created this whole mid-engine layout. Now, in terms of Porsche, their first mid-engine car was the 914, which, if you know, depending on your opinion, you either like it or you hate it. Most people think it's all right. I mean, at this point, it's an old car, so it's a classic. But mid-engines haven't really been around as long as obviously rear-wheel drive cars or even front-wheel drive, but they definitely have made a staple in history. Now, for the purposes of this specific video, we're going to pretend that the Porsche 911 does not exist, because that is the one outlier car that has a rear engine and is essentially the best weight distribution or the best layout. But we're going to pretend the car doesn't exist because it ruins the purpose of this. But if you notice, most supercar companies, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Mercedes with their AMG 1, most of them use a mid-engine layout because it makes the car handle the best and it performs the best. Now, when you have the engine right here, as a mid-engine layout is, the engine essentially sits over the rear axle, whereas rear engines, they're behind the rear axle, such as the 911. And with the purpose of it being here, you have the best weight distribution. It's all the weights in the middle of the car, it's more lighter in the rear, and it's lighter in the front, so it's easier to control in corners, and it essentially handles better. Now, another way to prove my point is all you have to do is take a look at the Porsche lineup. Now, sure, one of the fastest cars in the world is the GT2 RS, which is a 911, which means the engine's in the rear. But, and no one will really admit this, especially 911 owners, the GT4, or the GT4 RS in this case, has the potential to be faster than the GT3 around a track because of the way the chassis setup and the way the mid-engine layout is on the Caymans. Now, of course, like I said, Porsche won't do that because the 911 is the flagship, and of course, the 911 owners will never admit that because this isn't a 911, but it's true. All you have to do is take a look at some of the tests out there that people have done. The GT4 RS is an absolute monster of a car, especially on the track, and it handles like nothing else. Now, is it better than a GT3? At the end of the day, that's your personal opinion, but all you have to do is get behind the wheel of one of these and you'll see exactly what I mean. Okay, we're taking off in the 2019 Boxster GTS, and I just have to show you guys how this thing drives, because if you've never been behind the wheel of a mid-engine car, it's like nothing else, honestly. Because think about it this way: you drive, let's say you drive a rear-wheel drive car, which most cars are. You know, if there's some kind of slip, some kind of ice, the rear end comes out. With the mid-engine, while this is also rear-wheel drive, you have more control because the engine's right on top of the rear axle, so there's more weight on the back of it. And of course, with that being said, that's what equals the best, you know, the greatest weight distribution, because the engine's right behind you, and then in the front you really don't have anything, so the front end's light, and wherever you point it, it goes. Now, we're just driving normally here, and the car handles great. I mean, you just turn the steering wheel, very responsive and everything, and that's down to it being a Porsche. But all you have to do is flick on this little Porsche, you know, toggle switch right here. I'm gonna put it in Sport Plus, and you can hear it kind of revving up, and I'm gonna throw it in manual, and this PDK, of course, is great. Now, coming into this turn here, oh yeah, no, it really handles like nothing else. I mean, the thing with mid-engine cars is they instill so much confidence in you that you feel like the car, wherever you point it, it'll go, and that's exactly how it is. I mean, I absolutely like this. I love this. I mean, it's barely taking an effort. You know, with The Mustangs that we've come here, being rear-wheel drive front engine, you do have a lot of the weight in the front, and the rear will slide out a little bit more. Here, you don't really have that. I mean, it is just, it's really good. It is just, there's something about the engine being right behind you that it makes the car handle just 10 times better. Now, because the engine's right over the rear wheels, you also have much better traction because there's more weight on top of the axle holding it down. As I said, most supercar manufacturers have a mid-engine layout because that makes the car the most optimal driver's car. Again, for the 15th millionth time in this video, the 911 doesn't exist because the 911's an outlier when it comes to that. I mean, it's just, it is so good. It is so good. You will, it really is hard to find a car that drives better than a mid-engine Porsche. It's just, it's hard. It really is. And if you've never driven one, get behind the wheel of one. But let's go ahead and hop out of this thing and let's finish up this video. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you're interested in more content like this, be sure to check out our channel. Be sure to subscribe, like, and of course, let us know down in the comment section what you think of this beautiful 718 Boxster GTS.